My son has been coming to Kid PT for almost 4 years now, and we've been working with OT and PT off and on consistently over those 4 years. I'm the type of person who likes to research everything to a fault, so I just didn't want to go to any physical therapist. And I was learning that there are different types of physical therapists in terms of their approaches, even if they're treating the same issues. So I realized I wanted someone who thought out of the box, and I went online to find reviews because people are so reliant on reviews. So I found Dr. Joni, thankfully, when she was only about 5 miles away from me at that point, and she had glowing reviews, not just indicating that she was a good therapist, and I say she because at the time, this was prior to her building the team up, so I had Dr. Joni. I found Dr. Joni because the rave reviews were not only about how good her practice was, but how she dealt with things in a way that was unconventional at times, or maybe she had a lot of skills in her toolbox that a lot of therapists didn't use. And now that I'm coming to her, I realize that she continues her training, she continues to learn different things, and she brings a lot of different things into her practice. Before coming to Kid PT, my son's life was, I should note that he was not diagnosed with anything prior to coming to Kid PT. And it was very frustrating because, as Dr. Joni likes to say, you should trust your mom gut. And I knew that there was something different, for lack of a better word, about my child in relation to his peers. And I had talked to doctors, I had talked to people at the school he was at, and I was dismissed on all accounts. And I talked to his teachers. He was in like a pre-K program at that point. So what I did was I went to online to Dr. Google and basically put in his symptoms, the things that I observed, and thought that I knew at least something of what he had or what he needed, and I decided to consult a physical therapist on my own. And so prior to him coming to Kid PT, not only did he struggle with fine motor skills and gross motor skills, which I can now put a name to that. He struggled with social interactions. He wasn't really in an academic program at that point, so he wasn't struggling academically, but he had global struggles, and I just didn't know what they were. And when I brought him to Kid PT, I was able to get definitive answers on what his struggles were. That's when I started learning, and I was then able to get help through Dr. Joni and her team. So his life has improved tremendously, not only because I have validation of what his challenges are, but because those challenges have improved in so many ways, and he is making strides every day. When speaking with Dr. Joni, I became aware that she used so many different approaches in her practice. And I believe in a brain-based approach, meaning that a lot of physical therapists will treat the challenge by physical therapy or other means, but they won't necessarily try to help the child from a perspective of the brain. There's a lot of thought about various challenges that children have in what can be done to help them manage the issue, but there's a second school of thought about how can we actually improve the issue from the brain. And I was interested in a dual approach, someone that would help my child manage his issues, so physical therapy, occupational therapy, but would also work in something that could actually improve the issues from the brain. So working with him on, there are various things that the therapist can do to stimulate brain activity that can actually improve the condition at the source, while using physical therapy and occupational therapy techniques to help the child to navigate in the world. So Dr. Joni's practice, Kid PT, brings these approaches together, and that's why I chose Kid PT, and that's why I continue to come to Kid PT. So the achievements that my son has had since starting Kid PT, there have been many, and it's been incremental. And the biggest overarching change that I see in achievements are in his confidence and his, it might be a different thing one week to the next, something that he had challenges with, and all of a sudden now he's able to climb better, or he was able to do something but he was very unsure in his footing, and now he can do it effortlessly. And when you look at those things in aggregate, for my son, one of the biggest challenges with it is he can't keep up with the other kids on the playground. That makes him feel left out. That creates a cycle of anxiety, and it's just a domino effect. So for my son, him being able to keep up with the other kids on the playground helps him out tremendously from a mental health standpoint. And what I've noticed is he's able to participate more with other children of his age level and his peers, and that makes him be able to connect better with other kids. It enables him to have a better experience at school when he's at recess. So, they're small things, but when you look at them in aggregate, they have huge impacts, and that's what you're going for, I think, with physical therapy. I would recommend Kid PT over other therapists because, again, the way they approach things from a global perspective, getting involved in so many different types of therapies, so many different types of physical therapies and also brain-based therapies. But what I would really encourage people to do is, if you have a child who has challenges and you're looking for either a physical therapist or an occupational therapist or other types of therapies, just to call Kid PT and talk to someone here and talk about your concerns, because they will probably provide you with a perspective that other therapists may not be able to, and then take it from there, because I really think that you will find that therapists differ greatly from therapist to therapist. And if you're looking for something that addresses challenges that you can't really get your arms around what the challenges are, or you're new to this and you don't know what the issues with your child are, or you're not new to this and you haven't been getting the results that you need, call Kid PT, talk to Dr. Joni or someone else on her team, and they will be able to give you information to help you make a really informed decision about where to go. And I think you'd be very happy with going with Kid PT.